Yeah, Marita.
So, Swami, could we not be doing Virat, serving God and man, and trying to meditate at the same time?
Yeah, that's what he said. No, it is not that you have to give up meditation. We have to combine meditation with all these things to be fruitful. That is what Swami Vivekananda says. So, don't simply be satisfied with trying to do what you may not be able to do at this particular juncture. Because attaining true meditation is no joke. Years and years of renunciation, years, not maybe lives. So try that, but along with that, do those things also which will purify your mind at this particular stage in which you are. So, if we try very big things, what happens? Neither could we succeed in small things, and the big thing is no question. So, if a beggar wants to start a million dollar business, he should start from where he is. He should not give up that dream, but he should start at a small scale. So he progress slowly, and then finally he will reach that goal. So reaching the goal of perfect meditation is not a joke. That is what is meant here.
So Maharaj, about fearlessness, and until we actually get to that, the ultimate truth. So before that, obviously, let's say we try to remain steadfast, but even if we feel fear, we try to emulate what is the ideal, and even though we feel fear, we take the next step. Okay, I'm fearful, but I'll still do the right thing.
Yes.
So if we keep intellectually emulating, is that effective?
Yes, that is the only way actually. Because we have to keep reminding ourselves. There are lots of ways. We can either remind ourselves of our true nature, or if one is devotionally inclined, then faith in God. Faith in God is a huge thing. Huge thing. So many trials and tribulations we can overcome. If we have that, some sort of faith. So this faith also changes, it grows when we start practicing it. Prayer, all these are various means. And all these lead to more and more dependence on God. And as we become more and more dependent on the real, what is the only reality, our fear also starts vanishing in that proportion. Swami Vivekananda is toward the whole of India without a penny. How could he do that? His great strength, he said, came from Sri Ramakrishna. His faith in the Master. So all these, which if you read the lives of these saints and sages, the faith in the reality, faith in spiritual life, faith in God gave them so much strength in inimical circumstances. Because problem is, when you are faced with uncertainties, if you don't have that faith, then you feel you have nothing to hold on to. Nothing to hold on to. I used to hear so much of depression. I used to know, what is this depression? When everything seems to be lost. But when I experienced that during COVID, just after I came here and that COVID was there, then I had a glimpse of that, what is called depression. When the mind absolutely plunges, you can't think of anything positive. All you see is darkness. Nothing to hold on to. Then what will help you? The only thing which helps is faith in God. So all these things help us in ridding or at least reducing this fear. And the more we advance, the more fear is left behind, slowly and slowly and slowly. But it has to be practiced.
The fear, if you come face to face fear and if you really look into it, what you are afraid of,
Yeah.
you go deep down, there is no fear.
I won't say there is no fear, because fear, see, if a tiger comes to you, you recognize the tiger won't go away just because you recognize him. But recognizing him is a step. So, you are correct in that often our fear of the unknown does not make us pinpoint that actually what we are afraid, what are we afraid of? So then analysis helps. What is the analysis? The analysis can take this form, what you have said, that you go deep down in your mind and you try to reason. What am I afraid of? And you say to yourself, find out, tell yourself what is the worst that can happen. This is a very important method, very potent method. When we start being afraid, we just sit down calmly, follow the chain, and come right to the end. This is the worst that can happen. Okay, I am prepared for that also. Then it is facing fear. But it may not go away, but it makes us at least well prepared to some extent. So that is also very important.
As you mentioned, it's more of a synthesis of yogas in plain ways rather than exercising one path at the exclusion of others. And Karma Yoga in this day and age holds a lot of importance. And yet we see the characteristic of this age is we are defined by and motivated by greed and lust most. So how do we identify the right kind of work to do?
See, the right kind of work, Swamiji has given this absolutely simplest of all definitions. There is, if you read the books on ethics, there is a huge debate on the very definition of ethics. Swami Vivekananda described in a wonderful way what is ethical. Unselfishness is ethical. Unselfishness is God. As simple as that. So, we just have to examine our motives. But it is not possible to become 100% unselfish till we actually realize our true nature. But at least we can reduce our wants, which have no end. If I don't have a Starbucks coffee every day, I will die. If I don't get this dress or don't get that, or if I don't have a European cruise, I will go crazy. So all these, first of all, we have to give up these ideas. First is, in what is said in our Hindi, it says, Sada Jivan Uccha Vichar, means simple living and high thinking. So let us start with that. Of course, till we are in this body, we need something. We need food, we need clothes, we need security, we need medical help, all those we need. So, unselfishness practiced at all stages of our life. At least reduce this greed for wealth, more and more and more and more. When we start doing that, then slowly we will climb up high.
You mentioned that unselfishness, whatever unselfishness is the God. But at the same time, Upanishad says that self is the supreme God. Supreme self is the God.
Supreme self is God, yes.
So, what is that difference between that self, which is selfishness, and that self, which is supreme?
that has been described beautifully by Sri Ramakrishna. The two selves. First one he calls the unripe ego. Kacha Ami. Ami means in Bengali man. So Kacha man. Unripe I. And the second one is the ripe I. How does he differentiate? The unripe I is only engaged in giving pleasures to the mind and body. I want to eat this, I want to go there, I want to have this much money, I want to have so many friends, this, that, etc., etc. All the efforts are only for one person, what we call I, mind and body. But the right I, that is also I, but that is the I which gives up one's own selfish ends for the good of others, for serving others. And when he rises still higher, Sri Ramakrishna says that I thinks that I am the devotee of God. The unripe I will think I am such a big businessman, I am so learned, I am so rich, there is nobody like me, I am so powerful. Ripe I thinks I am nothing, only God is. If I have gained anything, it is due to the grace of God. So my only introduction is, I am a servant of God, I am a devotee of God. So when this unripe I becomes the ripe I, that ripe I can only lead us to our true self, which you told is God. So when the Upanishads say that the self is God, it means the higher self. Not I am so and so, not that I. That I is not God. That I is the only obstacle towards God. Because that I is associated with the mind and body. So when we give up that I, unselfishness means what? Giving less and less importance to your own I, lower I, your own mind and body. That is unselfishness. Only when that is practiced will the real I start manifesting. As we had seen, Sattva Sanshuddhi. So, when unselfishness is practiced, the mind is purified. When the mind is purified, slowly the real self, which is God, that starts shining forth. So, there are two types of eyes. One will lead us to bondage, selfish eye, and the unselfish eye will lead to God. So we have to encourage the other one and try to reduce slowly the lower one.
Very nice, thank you.
Anything else?
Question, last question. So, in the midst of the intense activity, he finds himself in the greatest calmness and the greatest peace. Intense activity. Can you explain the latter part? Finds peace, or in peace finds intense activity.
Peace means intense activity, and these are seeming to be contradictory. But there is, I will give you the example from Swami Vivekananda's life. See, these things are best illustrated by the incidents. So, unfortunately, I will have to bring myself also in that, so don't mind. So, I had read that Vivekananda was, there was a conversation between Vivekananda. Vivekananda was Holy Mother's disciple. And he was granted sannyasa by Swami Vivekananda himself. He was also the president of the very great school. The Holy Mother herself had told him to give initiation, so you can realize. So Swami was always encouraging everybody. He was in Mayavati, Vivekananda. So he always encouraging everybody, work. I want my disciples to give more importance to work on meditation than meditation, etc. So Vivekananda says that, yes, Swamiji, what you are saying is correct, but you have to agree that without meditation and austerities, even work can't be performed in the right spirit. So when I was young, I was also meditate, all this work and all this. So when one Swami told me to work, very senior Swami, I said, why? I quoted this incident. So he said, yes, Vijayanji could tell it because his internal activity had grown. Since internal activity had grown, he could afford to reduce his external activity. Means internal activity here means what? He had gone far into the spiritual realm. So he was more active inside. When he sat down to meditate, he did not see darkness all around. So our activity is practically nil inside right now. It is all outside. Inner is, we are just trying, we are knocking at the gates, but activity has not started yet. See, in their case, they are going from one level to another, one level to another. They are progressing so fast. One vision after another vision maybe is opening up before them. One experience after another experience is coming up. Swami Vimohananda says that, see, their statements are something we can never understand. Swami Vimohananda says people think that everything ends with samadhi, but spiritual life starts with samadhi. There, everything is different. There is no comparison with ordinary people. So, start with samadhi means what? There is no end to religious experiences. And they have entered deep into that. So, they are only, God knows what they are experiencing every moment. Some new revelation is coming up. Like Sri Ramakrishna said, no, how many visions I have had, there is no end at all. So, when that activity increases, although a person is not acting outside, but is very much active inside. But even though he is active outside at other times, he is always calm inside. Why? Because he knows he is the Atman, he is not doing actually anything. He is always established in his real nature. So when Krishna says to Arjuna, when Krishna refers to I, Krishna does not refer to the I which is the son of Vasudeva. I am manifesting the universe, I am creating the world. That is not the son of Vasudeva. That is the supreme soul. So when Krishna says I, he is identifying himself with that. So when you identify yourself with that, even in daily activities, you may indulge in 1,000 wars, but inside you are calm. So both these seemingly contradictory things goes together in the life of saints.